When I was at Canyon Ranch years ago, there was a head of preventive cardiology from Harvard who came and gave a speech, and he said, if you would take a group of 100-year-old people with clean arteries, what would they have in common? And what he said was they would be insulin sensitive, meaning they were able to keep their insulin levels low and regulate their blood sugar. So that was number one for longevity. Mine is a little bit like that. It's called food is medicine. So the phytochemicals are the medicine in food. So the ones that particularly are good for longevity that I like are sulforaphane, which is in all the broccoli family, epigalactic and galates, which are in green tea, and also in this wild sage tea that I had in Ikaria they have every day. So there's all these amazing phytochemicals that you can include in your diet on a daily basis and also potentially supplement with them.
Like you said, I'm trying to get the sulforaphane, I'm trying to get the curcumin, all these functional foods that really, big picture, what I'm trying to do is minimize my oxidative stress, my inflammation in the body, and really support these genetic pathways that are so good for our health. And so some of the ways that I'm getting this stuff, your NRF2 pathway or inactivate NF-kappa B once a week, you want to kind of do it every day. And so, keeping krauts available, keeping frozen cauliflower and broccoli rice, having inexpensive organic turmeric in the freezer. These are some of the ways I think about doing it easily. So that's really number 2 for me.
This whole idea of hormesis, I talked about the phytohormesis, but hormesis is essentially any stress that doesn't kill you makes you stronger. It's obvious, besides diet, the most important thing is exercise. And not just any kind of exercise, but 2 kinds of exercise that actually help stress your body in a way that makes it work better and smarter. One is strength training, which is using various weights or bands or your body weight, whatever you want to do to build muscle. The next is interval training, where you kind of do sprints. So you can do less exercise, but get more benefit by doing kind of really, really fast, like you're running from a tiger for 30, 45 seconds, a minute, and then slow down 3 minutes and then fast. You can do it on a treadmill, on a bike. You can do it sprinting, whatever you want to do.
Well, this is so funny because I think ours are going to basically be very similar because, of course, exercise is on my list too, but a slightly different angle. And just to add on to what you're saying, moving more throughout the day may actually be better for us than moving for just, a 1-hour exercise period throughout the day, 8 to 15 push-ups. And so that's something I've also incorporated, these 30-minute, brief 1 to 2 minute exercise sort of sessions, which are basically painless, something that you do every single day, stack it with a little bit of movement, like 2 push-ups.
Well, there's just obviously so much. I really like are things that are, again, I'm going to kind of go with the hormesis track that I'm on. And there's other things like low oxygen treatments, hypoxia, where you can use low oxygen masks. You can exercise with them. That puts your body in a state of stress, like you're climbing Mount Everest, and that'll activate your mitochondria to repair, to clean up the old ones. Ozone therapy, another one. So there's so many hormetic therapies I write about in my book, but those are my favorite.
Yeah, so cold plunging was on my list, and this is one of the many hormetic activities that you mentioned. When you start to realize that cold and heat are so good for our biology, it really changes the way I approach adversity in my day-to-day life. Hormesis, but specifically I'm really loving cold thermogenesis and finding that it's definitely had a psychological as well as a physical impact on me.
And I've learned a lot about supplements over the decades practicing functional medicine, but there's some core go-to ones that I never miss. Vitamin D and K. That's non-negotiable. I want to keep my vitamin D levels between 50 and 75. I use omega-3s, Dutch Harbor Omega from Big Bold Health. I actually also take my homocysteine supreme because I have methylation issues and the MTHFR gene, a high-quality multivitamin, magnesium I take every night to sleep. And I use my product, of course, gut food, which is like a multivitamin for the gut with prebiotics, probiotics, and polyphenols. I take something called HTB Rejuvenate, which is made from quercetin. It's one of those longevity molecules. It's an immunorejuvenation product from also Big Bold Health. And I do a few other things in my shake, like mushroom adaptogens and creatine and so forth. That's my kind of longevity fun pack.
Really has to do with sunlight. So I have, in understanding this literature around how sunlight is so important for setting up our metabolic and genetic pathways throughout the day, I am now religious about getting at least 5 to 10 minutes of sunlight first thing in the morning, the first thing I do. So yeah, sun exposure and just trying to spend more time outside in the first half of the day.
Yeah, well, the last one for me is kind of weird. I mean, there's a whole group of these therapies that are kind of innovations in longevity, whether peptides, exosomes, stem cells, natural killer cell infusions, transfer plasma exchange, ozone, and I just love ozone. So that's my favorite.
I have actually never tried ozone before, so that is very intriguing.
It sounds weird. I know it sounds weird, but it's definitely amazing.